Just because someone doesn't see your value doesn't mean you aren't valuable. That thought popped into my head one day without warning, and it gave me significant pause. Not because it was revolutionary, but because it was obvious, and because I haven't been living like it's true. For years, I've been giving away my time and my talent too easily, sometimes freely, sometimes at a discount, sometimes under the banner of friendship. It's my own fault. I didn't hold myself with enough respect. But I can feel that changing. I am worthy. I am valuable, whether or not anyone else sees it. Welcome back. Today, I'm talking about the drug, not medication, not substances, but the adrenaline, the intensity, the rush that comes with attaching yourself to someone else's potential, and the clarity that comes when you decide to stop. Looking for external acceptance is baked into ADHD-related demoralization. When you grow up feeling like you can't fully trust your instincts, when your reactions are questioned, your focus criticized, your emotions labeled too much, you begin to assume that someone else's opinion must be more accurate than your own. If they see value in you, you feel safe. If they don't, you question yourself. That is a dangerous way to live because it turns other people into mirrors. And if the mirror distorts, so do you. One of my gifts is reading authenticity. I can see it so quickly. I've honed that skill for years. But sometimes, when I want to believe someone has good intentions, I mute that instinct. I override it. And that makes me easy to use. Not because I'm naive, but because I'm hopeful. One of my favorite things in the world is creating brands. I'm exceptional at it. I can say that now without flinching. The newness of a challenge, collecting the data, understanding the audience, crafting the voice, allowing the circuits of my brain to light up like fireworks, and then watching an idea go from concept to reality, seeing a vision materialize in public space. It's thrilling. But some of those brands were built under the illusion of partnership, under the warmth of connection, under the promise of shared momentum. Generosity shouldn't feel like rejection. Kindness shouldn't turn into distrust. And yet, sometimes it does. There are people who can sense when you are driven by purpose and use that to their advantage. They understand your need to create, your need to build, your need to feel useful. And if you don't guard yourself, you will build their dreams before you build your own. I almost did it again. Almost. But this time, I caught myself. As I've been moving through ADHD-related demoralization, I've noticed distinct phases. First came cognitive relief, when I realized this experience finally had a name. Then came external scaffolding, where I borrowed executive function in the places I needed support most. After that was morale restoration, when hope began to return even before trust did. And now I find myself in identity repair, the stage where I'm learning to separate my worth from my output. It's stronger than I expected, because when you've built your identity around being useful, around being the engine behind someone else's success, stepping back feels like withdrawal. There's disappointment here. I didn't want to see the pattern. I didn't want to admit how often I bought in, how deeply I attached myself to someone else's momentum. But recognizing it means I'm close to the next stage, where I rebuild my self-trust, not proving myself through intensity or adrenaline, but proving myself through awareness. When I get excited about an idea, it's electric. It floods my body. It makes the world sparkle. It convinces me that this is the thing. This is the path. This is the partnership that will finally make sense of everything. It feels like a drug. And like most drugs, it's intoxicating. But it isn't always real. It's intensity, not stability. It's imagination racing ahead of evidence. For years, I chased that feeling. I was Alice following the white rabbit, urgent, breathless, convinced something extraordinary was just ahead. Now, even when every cell in my body wants to run, I can pause. I can observe. I can ask, is this aligned with what I really want, or is this adrenaline? That ability to pause is new, and it's powerful. This stage requires practice. It requires watching myself without condemning my actions. It requires stepping back and seeing the event from a distance instead of spiraling inside it. I don't need to punish myself for being enthusiastic. I don't need to shame myself for being generous. But I do need boundaries. Changing patterns will let my confidence rise in a way intensity never could. My hope is that I won't need a cape to feel worthy anymore. I won't need to rescue. I won't need to build someone else's empire. I won't need to perform value to prove I have it. I'll be worthy on my own. And that's a different kind of power. I'll be back soon. Until then, give yourself grace. You've been listening to Demoralized with Molly Kellogg-Schmauch.